Well, China and Japan, Asia's two biggest powers, are locked in a spat. And it began last week. That's when Japan's prime minister said that a Chinese attack on Taiwan could trigger a military response from Tokyo, since Beijing told its citizens against visiting Japan. And that prompted Tokyo's response today, who urged China to take appropriate measures. Let's speak to our correspondent, James Sims. Hello to you, James. We know Taiwan, a very sensitive subject for China. It regards the island as a breakaway territory of its own. It said it would take back Taiwan one day by force if necessary. Give us a little bit about the context here between China and Japan.
Okay, well, obviously the history goes back several thousand years. And the biggest, I guess, issue between them has been World War II and the pre-war period when Japan invaded and occupied parts of China. And then after the war ended 80 years ago, Taiwan became an independent economy. And so up until now, the United States and Japan have tried to maintain a policy of strategic ambiguity in terms of what the nations would do in the case of an attempt by China to reunify Taiwan and China by force. And so I think the Japanese prime minister probably spoke a bit more than she should have in terms of becoming much more specific about what Japan might do. I think the question is clear that if the U.S. gets involved, Japan will be automatically involved by proximity to Taiwan, which is about, 70, 100 kilometers from the closest part of Japan. And Taiwan and, not Taiwan, but Japan and the United States have a security alliance. And so they would be involved regardless.
And so where does Japan go from here?
Well, this is an issue that sort of flares up every once in a while. And right now, the relationship between China and Japan, if you look at the public opinion polls, both countries have very unfavorable views of each other. But the interesting thing is that on a personal level, Japan is one of the largest sources of investment in China. And they are also major trading partners. And about 40% of the tourists coming into Japan are from China. And about 40% of the students studying in Japan are from China. And so I think what Japan has learned is just basically wait for these things to sort of blow over. Because China in the past has used, I think, Japan as a cudgel at times to try to bolster its own support, to try to talk about, what Japan had done in the past, but ignoring the 80 years of peace and investment in trade and relations between the two countries.
Yeah, diplomatic spat always difficult between key trading partners. James, thank you very much. James Sims reporting from Tokyo.